Hello and welcome to tabomsoft's newest game, The Exorcist. I'm going to be doing this game on my channel as a walkthrough, so I'm not going to be recording this game blind. I'll figure out what to do for each level, and then I'll proceed to record it as fast and efficiently as possible. That way you can use these videos as a walkthrough if you need to. So really quick, this is another horror/puzzle game. I've already done Deep Sea Girl, Hide and Seek 2, all the games made by this developer that are in that same genre of horror/puzzle. And I gotta say, they're extremely fun to record, so you know what? One more is not gonna kill me. And this game is very similar to those games, but there is a few differences. Some good, some bad in my opinion. Now, really quick, I will say this game, it is free, so you don't have to pay any money to get it. But there is a couple items that you really do either want to buy or you're going to want to watch advertisements to get them. Because one of the items in particular is the light radius that shines around your character. And if you don't have it, after the lights turn off, you can almost see nothing, which is so ridiculous. So what I did personally is I just paid the $5, and that gets you every single item you're ever going to need in this game. Now, if you don't want to spend the $5, what you could do is just watch some of the advertisements or fill out surveys, whatever you want to do. They offer you a couple different things, and you can get those items. So enough about that. I'll just say that you really should get these items if you want to experience the game. One more thing, too, is you technically don't have to get any of the items to finish the game, but it's only going to give you the worst ending as far as I know. You're not going to have access to any of the hidden endings without getting these items. So enough about that. For this game, there's two characters. The main character, her name's Woo Hee, which is kind of a mouthful, so I'll probably just reference her as the main character. And then there's the priest, and he's not really that big of a character in the game. You're mostly focusing on Woo Hee, who happens to be the main character. So this game, one thing about it that I found is kind of weird is you're not actually playing as her. You're kind of playing as a projection of her. Her physical body isn't in the place you're going, so you're not really in any real trouble, which kind of takes away from the scary factor. Not that these games are necessarily scary. But once you get to level 2 in this game, you're going to have all sorts of jump scares. So you'll see when you get to level 2. It's kind of random, but we'll get to that in the next video. So I'm kind of breezing through this dialogue because I want to explain things on my own time. And this dialogue with the priest, it's just kind of talking about the game a little bit and what you're doing. And we're here at some sort of school, and we're just doing an investigation, and we're here as exorcists to get rid of the problem. Now, this game too, it's also, the reason I'm kind of going through this dialogue fast is tabomsoft is notorious for having terrible English. Just the translation is awful now. Hide and Seek 2 Stranger was probably the worst. You could almost understand nothing that was going on because it just wasn't translated right. But this game's not nearly as bad. You can kind of get what's going on just from the dialogue. And they did a lot better job in translating it. So once I get through this, she has spiritual powers, but she's not allowed to use them if she's projecting, which we're going to be projecting for the majority of the game. So we're not really able to use anything, but as it's explained right here, if we get these things called fox beads, we can purify them and then get these. Well, they originally start out as evil beads, but once you purify them, they turn into fox beads. And once you get enough of those, you're able to make some of the items. If that makes sense. I don't really want to talk about it too much, but I'll explain it more as we go in the game, so just keep an eye out for them. And really the only item you need at this point in the game, if you want to get a good ending, is going to be this item right here, the open charm, and that's going to open all these barrels, evil spirit beads. So this is what you're going to want to look for. And you need about 100 of them to get one of the items, so you really got to keep an eye out and open as many as possible. Now, one more item too I did get is, just to make this a little bit faster, I got the costume of Swift, which makes her walk faster, 40% increased speed, which it's not the best to have equipped. You can actually have some other items equipped that give good benefits. But just for the sake of time, I'm going to keep this equipped on her. Also, just for you to reference, if you don't have the map, this is what the map looks like. The rooms are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they're also referencing those numbers. So it is really good to know which room is which. And then also there's these little symbols right here. Of course, the pan is going to be the cooking room. So the first thing you want to do in the game is walk right here to the girls' restroom. And the weird thing about tabomsoft, you know how a lot of games, they don't really show restrooms in the video games because they're usually irrelevant. But in tabomsoft, they always have a restroom in their game. And right now there's a girl crying in the background, which just sounds awful. That is the most pitiful cry I've ever heard in my life. So come in this stall, talk to this girl. I'm sorry, kiddo, but I can't get out of here. Could you bring me the mirror from my classroom rocker? excuse me, classroom locker, I'll give you something in return. So right now we have to go get the mirror from one of the lockers, and that's going to be in classroom 3. Again, reference your map if you need to, and that's going to be the first one on the bottom once we go to the left-hand side. So there's a couple things you could do right now. You don't necessarily have to go in any order. That's kind of the same for all tabomsoft games. There's usually a couple things to do, but I'm just going to go in this order, and that's going to give you the locker key right over here. Definitely take that, and then proceed back into this room right over here. Equip the key, unlock it, and you're good to go. So after you've done that, this puzzle can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to the style of puzzles this game is going to throw at you. But just take a look. There's 3 different pages, so just take a look at them. And once you put all these pages together, it's going to read to you July 10th. Excuse me, not July. January 10th. So if you just write that out in a number, it's going to be 1/10. So that's going to be the answer to the puzzle, 110. So not too tough. They've done a lot of these type of puzzles in previous games, so just keep an eye out for stuff like that. And that's going to be the hand mirror inside the locker. So next thing to do, again, I think there's a couple more things to do at this point. So let's just drop off the mirror since we're right here. And again, here's a big pile of blood, but you know what? If you've played previous games, you know that this game does not hold back on the blood. They're throwing blood left and right. In fact, if you played Hide and Seek, the first one, and Deep Sea Girl, those games were like bloodbaths. So they did dial back a little bit on the blood, but there's still going to be a lot of it in this game. Equip the mirror, talk to the little girl, and she's going to give you freshman class 2. It should be open now, so she doesn't give you anything, but you now have access to the second room. So before we do that, I think there's a key over here. Let me just run over here and check if there's anything available to pick up right now. There is, this little shiny piece right here. So take this, and that's going to be the key to the first classroom. So I think we have a couple different things to do again, but let's just proceed to classroom number 2 right here. Somebody's here again. So there is sound effects in this game. I should probably keep the volume turned up now. Some of them are kind of cheesy. As you're going to be seeing, like I think right here there's a laugh. Which is actually pretty good. I do like that. So let's go right down here in classroom number 2 and yeah, talk to this thing right here, and it's going to say, it reads a treasure box keeping S's soul. It's tied with a rope. Is there anything to cut the rope with? So we need something to cut this rope open, and I think we should now go to the first classroom. Let me equip the key. Okay, here we go. So right here we have the bloodstained scissors, so take these with you. Something's going to jump outside. So let's proceed outside and see what that was. All right, so get used to these guys, because there's going to be a lot of them in the game. In fact, there's going to be a lot of stuff running around, especially on floor 2, so definitely get used to that. And then in previous games, I didn't show opening all the chests and all the barrels, but I kind of have to do that because... Oh, wait a second. Was that a good item? I think that just completed one of the items I can now make. Let me see here. How do I get there? No, not that. Hold on. I think I can now make an item. Here we go. Make item. Yeah, that's everything, right? Materials. What am I missing here? You know what? I think I actually need some more beads. I think that's just a typo. Because all the other items, you need like 60 to 100 beads. So I think they just forgot to put how many beads I need for this mask. Anyways, so enough about that. Let's go back to the classroom and put these scissors on. Cut this thing open, and that's going to give you the treasure box. And then now that that's done, all the names in this, they're kind of just said by like S or whatever letter the name starts with. As you're going to see, they don't give full names. They just give the first letter. So as you saw, that was S's soul, which kind of doesn't make sense right now, but I think it'll make more sense in the future. And right here we get rushed, and they steal the treasure box. So now that that's gone, let me see. What do I do now? Come find me if you want to. So, okay, so here's where the lights turn out, and you see I have this little light shining. If you don't have that light, there's actually different levels you can upgrade. This is the maximum, which doesn't even show the whole level. It just shows this radius right here. But if you only have the first level, seriously, the radius is like this big. It is ridiculously small. So I don't see how anybody's going to play the game like that. So now that that cutscene's done, I think we do have access to all these rooms right up here. So I think the first thing you want to do is, I think it's this room right here. Yeah, talk to this guy right here. Why, from class 6, isn't she so pretty? I want to know her phone numbers. So we got to go find this girl's phone number, and the fastest way to do that is, I think we have to go over to the, what do you call it? Home economics? Or the cooking room. So let me take a look at my map, and yeah, it's right up here. Oh, it is locked right now. Let me try this side. Yeah, right here. The door's broken. Oh shit, god dang it, I forgot about that. So a knife comes out. This is actually a good chance to talk about when you die in this game, you don't have to reload. You just have to wait for this to recharge. So god, I totally forgot about that knife, but it doesn't really matter. It's only a couple second wait, so it's not that bad. Because there was a lot of cases in the previous game where I would always forget to save, which is a good thing that you could do that because I haven't saved this whole recording. Take it. You think she will like this? Yes. Okay. So I kind of skimmed through that dialogue, but it did say that her desk was by the window. So go back in. You know what? I hate this crying. Let me turn this down. I hate listening to that crying. So go back into, I think it's classroom number 6. Yeah, right here, this classroom. And then if you take a look at one of the desks, it looks different from all the other ones. You see it's kind of cracked up, this one right here. So that's the desk you need to put it on. So equip the box and drop it on the desk, and then that's going to, for whatever reason, give you a member with some phone numbers. So now that that's done, we can give it to that shadow guy in classroom number 5. So let's equip it. And after that, let me see, he gives me a textbook from class number 4. So let's equip that, and then let me take a look at my map, and that's going to be the room right next to us. So these puzzles, they're not too bad. Now that one with the gift, it was a little bit tough. And then the one with the 110, that might be a little bit tricky, but these puzzles aren't too bad. The second floor gets much more difficult. In fact, I'm still stuck on the second floor. It's really, really tough. Oh, you know what, too? I forgot an item. Let me go grab that right after I put this book away. So after that, that's going to give you the key to the second corridor. Take that with you. But before we proceed, there's one more item I missed. Now, I don't know what this item does. I haven't come across anything where it's useful. So I just want to hold on to it because I'm sure I'm going to need it in the future. In fact, I'm on floor number 2 right now, and I have like 15 items on me, and I have no idea what to do after that. So there's a lot of stuff to do on floor number 2. So come back in the home economics room and then talk to this bookshelf right here. And that's going to give you a bag of flour. But again, like I said, there's no use to it right now, so just keep in mind you have it. And then the last thing to do, let me just save just in case. Again, I don't know what happens if I die on this part, but let me save just in case. And then equip the key, use it on the door. And then I just got to say, this. Look how ridiculous this is. Look how ridiculous this is. Not the hand chasing you that's about to come up, but look how many freaking stairs there are. It just keeps going and going and going and going. And keep in mind, this is a school. So how the hell do they have that many stairs going to level 2? It's ridiculous. Anyways, well, I guess my first insight is still working though. So one last thing is, let me just talk about these vending machines. There's something inside the vending machine. Confirm. There's a slate, which I don't know what that's exactly talking about. Maybe it's a translation issue. But we can't touch it yet. We actually need an item. And again, I'm going to be collecting these as I go. I haven't got any of them yet. I still have to make more beads. As of now, I found 12 fox beads. And then again, after you get an evil spirit bead, you just got to go outside and purify it in one of the shrines, which I'll show off later. Anyways, that's it for this video. I don't know when I'm going to be posting videos. I don't really have a schedule. It's just whenever I figure out the level, I'll just go back and record it. So Probably maybe every day, every other day, something like that, but I definitely will be finished the game regardless on this channel. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and thank you for watching.